Hey guys, this is the Mall Fox here, and today I will show you guys the Selma Mall, located in Selma, Alabama. So this mall's story starts all the way back in 1970, when Montgomery, Alabama-based developer Aronoff Realty broke ground on the site for the future mall. Plans called for a 325,000 square foot mall to be built at the intersection of Highway 14 and Range Line Road, and leases were already signed for a Sears Roebuck & Co. and Britts department store. Another department store, known as Kress's, would also join the mall's anchor roster. Sears and Kress opened earlier than the rest of the mall, with Sears having its grand opening on July 14, 1971, and Kress having its grand opening on November 26th of the same year. The rest of the mall opened on March 2, 1972, with the aforementioned department stores being joined by Britts department store as anchors on opening day. Some inline tenants to inhabit the mall at opening or shortly after included Zales, Eckerd Drug, Motherhood Maternity, Meyer Shoe Company, The Record Shop, Martin's Cafeteria, Gateway Books, and Majestic Photography. A Winn-Dixie grocery store and a Hardee's fast food location were located on the mall property as outparcels. Notable people attending the opening day celebration were the town's mayor, Joe Smitherman, president of Aronoff Realty Co., Aaron Aronoff, and other town leaders. Aronoff Realty Co. had already developed several shopping centers across the U.S. during this time. Some changes would happen pretty early on at the mall, when Britts department store would close and be replaced by JCPenney, which held its grand opening on November 3, 1976. As far as I could tell, the mall would fare decently well into the late 1980s, where it would receive its first renovation in 1987. Totaling a cost of $1.5 million, the biggest notable change was the addition of skylights and the planned opening of new stores inside. In a piece written about the mall, the renovation seemed to foster excitement and pride in the town of Selma, given they now had an updated modern shopping mall, just like in other areas of Alabama and beyond. The writer said something to the effect of, "If you're having a bad day, come walk through the newly improved mall, and I bet your day will be better." The mall over the years became a hub of community involvement, hosting such events as a petting zoo, blood drives, and craft shows, among other things. However, after the 1980s, the Selma Mall began to suffer. On March 3, 1993, a woman was robbed by 3 juveniles when she was walking to her car from the JCPenney location. She filed a lawsuit against Aronoff Realty, stating inadequate security led to this happening. Her injuries included fractures to her right leg, bruising, and the obvious emotional distress from the incident. According to the papers, only one of the juveniles is stated to have been prosecuted in this case. That same year, Sears announced that they were closing their store at the Selma Mall. Thousands of people were signing petitions to have the store stay open, and town leaders and mall management were attempting to have talks with Sears to try and reverse the decision, but it was to no avail. Sears would end up closing in March of 1993. To make matters worse, Beal Ladyman, a clothing retailer operating in the middle of the mall, closed in February of 1994, and it is stated that the mall's occupancy was around 50% during this time. The mall continued to struggle. However, in 1994, the mall gained a Goodys department store, replacing Beal Ladyman. Then, on March 13, 1996, the space left by Sears would be filled with a department store known as McRae's. This began a small revival of the mall property, with inline stores like Dollar Tree, Hibbett Sports, Bookland, and Blockbusters stated to be building out space in the mall. However, by the 2000s, the mall's focus shifted to attract more local businesses, versus national chains. As you can see by this map provided to me by 10 Pound Hammer, a fellow mall researcher, where orange marks vacant space, the mall was still struggling with occupancy even in 2006. However, in this 2008 map, found by another fellow mall researcher, Phoenix, you could tell that they were starting to fill the mall up with local chains. However, Goodys had departed the mall by this point, which was another big blow to the already dying mall. In doing research for this video, I found a bunch of old pictures of the mall, so have a gander at these. Now, to finish out the history of this mall, in 2005, Belk would buy out most Profits and McRae stores, and thus the location at Selma Mall was converted into a Belk. As I previously mentioned, Goodys left the mall in 2008 following the company's bankruptcy, only to rejoin the mall in 2011 and then close for the last time in 2015. JCPenney would leave the mall in 2014, and in its place currently resides Treasure Box Flea Market. And by the way, I had my phone out of the window during that last clip, and I did not get pulled over. Also visible in that last clip was the former Winn-Dixie grocery store, which I believe has an antique store in it right now. Finally, Belk closed its doors for the last time on June 5th, 2023, ending its entire service in the town of Selma, Alabama. But that's going to conclude my video on the Selma Mall. If you guys liked my video, hit the like button. Consider subscribing if you want to see more Dead Mall content. If you didn't like it, hit the dislike button. Leave a comment if this was your childhood mall and you have a fond memory, or if you just want to leave me a nice comment to read. And otherwise, stay tuned for the next mall video. By the way, shout out again to 10 Pound Hammer and Phoenix of DMod, who dig up a ton of old maps and information on these malls. Consider joining the Dead Malls of Discord server if you guys have an interest in dead or alive malls, just malls in general, and you want a place to talk about them. Link will be in the description.